The EarSauce podcast.
Yo, welcome to the EarSauce podcast. It's myself, Manny. We got Ollie, we got Afia, and we got Matt.
Yo.
Indulging in some big boy KFC. Matt, what did you get from KF Sizzle?
I got a mighty bucket for one. I'm famished, so I thought I'd eat this before we started recording, but the food didn't come now. So yeah, sorry guys, I'm gonna be in and out talking, trying to yam my food.
I feel like anyone who goes KFC and doesn't get that meal or the variety meal is playing themselves.
Unless you get, if not that, you got to get like a big bucket. But then yeah, that's the way I see it too. But yeah, we got a jam-packed show today because I know we've got like a lot of albums to go through. So let's get the ball rolling.
Sweet. Let's get this ball started, yeah. So I think the biggest album that dropped this week, of course, is Megan Thee Stallion's Good News. Yeah. Look, the way you're laughing, Ollie, I think that you should take the lead. What? Give me your thoughts on Megan Thee Stallion's Good News album.
I'm going to speed through this. I don't really like Megan's music, and this album kind of solidified that.
I bet you like a body though.
No comment. But what I will say is that the first track, it caught me off guard. It hit me with like a little 1-2. Now that, ooh, Megan's got bars. Is this a theme for the album? And it was. It was the same message rehashed with some erotic talk as well on some other tracks. It's just hot garbage, man. There's like 2 decent tracks. I wasn't feeling how she sampled the Eazy-E track on Girls in the Hood, I think it's called, which is a really original title. It's trash. I just feel like it's like sometimes people call rap nursery rhymes, and I feel like this album is legit nursery rhymes. Like there's that body track where she's just repeating the same word for like 45 seconds.
Yada 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 yada. I couldn't believe that shit, man.
Yeah, it's that, and Don't Rock Me to Sleep is literally a lullaby. Like,
yep.
It's so bad. It's so bad. And like the things you're saying about the Tory Lanez, like I feel like the bulk of this album is about Tory Lanez, and then outside of that, she has no content other than those nursery rhymes. And the stuff she's saying about Tory isn't really that engaging. It's not compelling.
Yeah.
Whether it's real or not, or her side of the story is real or not, I mean, I don't believe her depiction of the events is accurate.
But do you not believe her depiction of her events are accurate because she's not as outspoken as Tory, or what? Like, what makes you?
No, because there's like a history of people saying she's like abusive and stuff like that, and then she'll recount different stories which are wildly different from the victim, for example. So I feel like
when Tory described it from his perspective, it seemed like he went into so much detail, even in the songs. And I don't know how much that's just to do with, like, you know, artistic ability, but it just seemed to me like he was speaking the truth, whereas someone just like more bravado.
No, Meg can rap and talk about topics, so I don't think it's anything about artistic ability. It's just, I just don't think she's entirely telling the truth.
How about this point? Oh, sorry, go on.
No, go on. I want to hear what
How about this point of view, right? Like, she is involved in the potential court case with Tory Lanez. So perhaps she can't really speak on the case too tough.
Then don't make a whole album around it.
I think people deal with things differently, and Meg has received criticism for the way she deals with trauma in the past, like when her mum passed, for example. And I think I echo what Manny is saying. We have to be cautious about how we speak on this matter because we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. We don't know what she's dealing with or he's dealing with. And because it's such a serious situation, I'm inclined to hold comment at this point. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
I think either of them could be lying. Either of them could be telling the truth at this point. I mean, it's starting to turn into who is that guy who said the MAGA people tried to get him outside of a subway? Who's that dude?
Juicy Smollett.
Yeah, like if we're not careful,
Juicy
it's gonna,
Smollett.
do you know what I'm saying? Like if we're not careful, it's going to turn into that kind of situation. We just got to wait for the facts.
Allegedly.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, right? I hear what you're saying, but this is the thing I want to say here now, yeah? That's Ollie said. If you can't talk about it, don't talk about it, for one. And two, I feel like this whole situation has been blown up into more than it had to be because of the fact that
she was shot in the foot.
I don't think she was shot anyway. The other part of it as well, oh man, I forgot what I was going to say now, but basically, I just feel like...
I think she got a graze. I think if she was really shot, like Tori said in his song, there'd be like some sort of crazy damage or anything like that. Like she was like running about, she's dancing at the VMAs and stuff.
Well, how do you guys think that at the end of the day, the girl was, even if she was grazed, a bullet hit her?
A couple of days later, she was in the pool dancing though.
Yeah,
like life didn't change for her at all. I don't get it.
No, but think about what you're saying. A bullet could have potentially very seriously injured her though.
Yeah, but what if there was a struggle over a gun and it led to her getting shot? So she's saying, Tori, you shot me. Maybe the gun was a safety, but in reality, she's the reason for it.
Do you know what, yeah? All we need to learn from this situation is that America's gun culture is a mess. That's it. Simple.
Yeah,
why is there even a gun there in the first place for people to be wrestling?
The reason there was a gun there in the first place is because these guys probably wearing millions of dollars worth of jewelry or however much worth of jewelry, and they didn't want someone else to come up
Security.
Her security guard wasn't there that night. And that's why he was so mad at the situation. But my other point I was going to say this year, you pointed out before, Afia, that we do not know the ins and outs of the situation, so we can't speak on it. But if that was the case, then we can't speak on anything because we don't know about anything really. None of us are proper.
And to build on that, I would say if you don't want people to talk about it or speculate, you shouldn't put it out there. The moment people put it out there and build a whole album around it, it's just gonna open discussion.
Maybe this is her way of speaking on it. It's like why? Because for example, let's say someone like Beyonce. When Beyonce wants to speak on something, she doesn't even do interviews. She barely speaks on things except through her music. And maybe this is the way she chose to deal with this situation. I wonder. I'm just a bit. Go on.
No, but I feel like Beyonce done it sick with Becky with the good hair. Yeah, now everyone knows about Becky with the good hair. But Megan's just like, Tori, you shot me and you're a little bitch. You're short anyway. I don't like you. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, but it's not about. Okay, listen. It's the situation was public already. People knew that there was a situation. They knew Tori was involved and she was involved. So Beyonce can't say who the girl is. The fact that Beyonce came out and said there was a girl at all was enough. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So I don't see a difference there.
Look,
all right, cool.
What was your...
Reagan.
Oh, wait, I want to say one more thing. It also surpassed the features of this album. And I was curious if this means that they side with Meg and they're just not going to support Tori or jump on anything with Tori. I found that interesting. Anyway, my rating is...
Shout out song first, because I haven't gone yet, mate.
Sorry, yeah. Okay, my shout out song was Shots Fired.
Okay, cool. Look, I'm going to keep this brief. I'll compare, like, all of the drama aside, I'm comparing Megan on an artistic merit, right? Megan is being placed on the same pedestal as a Nicki Minaj and a Cardi B. Do you guys agree or not?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Artistically, those are the ones I have to compare it to. More so, I'm going to compare it to Cardi B's first album, Invasion of Privacy, right?
Ooh, that slapped.
Yeah, so I looked at my rating for Invasion of Privacy once I listened to this album. And Megan isn't nowhere near as good as Cardi B. Like, I'm not going to lie, like, that nowhere near as good as that Invasion of Privacy album. This album doesn't even scratch it. And that's really disappointing because out of all the female artists that have come out of the US, she's probably the one that's had the most hype and positivity surrounding her journey. Does that make sense? Like, she's had the biggest uplift, and yet, like, she couldn't deliver. And I doubt she's going to have the same fanfare this time around come her next album. So She's, excuse the pun, but she really shot herself in the foot with this.
Oh my god.
That was excellent.
That was outstanding.
That was bars.
You should be a ghostwriter, Money.
All right, I'm up next. Yeah. Okay, my view is this, right? Album's trash. I feel like I always say, right, that with artists, sometimes if you have certain people around you, it can either boost or give a decline, reduce the quality of your music. So, for an example of this, I always look at the good music artists and how everybody on good music. Dreamville. Sorry, that's the one I want to point out, and also TDE. So that's Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, and the rest. Dreamville is J. Cole. Who else is there? Cause Baz is there as well, and Ari Lennox. So my point is that when you have these artists around you that, I guess, listen to your project as you're making it and give you feedback, say this is good, this is bad. Yeah. It's very difficult for you to release a shit album because they're gonna tell you like this isn't it. Do better, and then you learn from it and then you fix it. I just thought to myself with Meg, nobody told her that her album was rubbish. So she made these songs, she did Body, and thought, it'd be really cool if I did Body, yada yada yada, and that'd be cool. Like, no, it wasn't. Who told you that's good?
The problem is she signed to Rock Nation, right? But who is around her?
She's not signed to Rock Nation. Rock Nation's a management company.
Management.
Yeah, so her music team, I feel like she's on some. She had a legal battle recently. She's still in the midst of one. So her actual record label is some very small label in Texas or something like that. But all I know is that whoever told her that this stuff is good, they lied to her because it's trash, and she needs to just get those people away from her. And she needs to go and sit with someone that has her best interests at heart and wants her to make good music. Because like, when you look at it, Cardi B is probably less talented than Meg, but whoever she had around her, they made sure that her album banged. Her album was really good, and I was surprised by that. But we all know that Cardi B is not an amazing rapper.
No,
100%. So yeah, this shows you that you need to have people around you that's got that quality and can bring it out of you. But yeah, that's me. My standout song was Intercourse.
That was a good my standout song as well.
Yeah. But anyway, carry on. Afia, what's your view?
I also think it was hot garbage. It's unfortunate because I do like some of her other tunes, and I did have high hopes for this project. But especially being a female rapper, I feel like we're in the age of female rappers at the moment, both here in the UK and America. But yeah, it did not bang for me at all. If I had to pick first and seconds or like top two tunes, first would be Savage with Beyonce, of course. Second would be Body. And I listened to that tune like well over 10 times before I decided on that. I think, and I said this to you guys, it's a bop for like when you're getting ready to go clubbing or something like that. And I can imagine a lot of girls will enjoy listening to this in the clubs next summer or the summer after. But to be honest, the rest of it, hot garbage. That's it. I'd give it a 2.
To add on to what you're saying there as well, by the way, I have seen it seems like it's already becoming a viral thing on Instagram where girls are posting up pictures of themselves or videos of themselves and with that song in the background. So maybe it's a TikTok thing or whatever.
Can I just say my favourite bar from this particular tune, just before you, is I'm a hot ebony, they're going to click it if it's me. All my pictures been getting these N-words through the quarantine. I think that is brilliant because it is so true. I love that bar. Anyway, carry on.
You see, it's gassing the women up.
I loved it.
So yeah, maybe it's about women. I don't know, but for men, it's trash. But yeah, I think that's what I want to say. It's just going viral. So maybe I think nowadays we see a lot of songs that are specifically designed to go viral, and maybe that's one of them.
Yeah.
When I was listening to this album, all I could hear was "suck a nigga dick." He my pussy good. Fuck them other bitches. Ass fat, twerk.
Yep.
Yeah, to be honest, I am kind of over the.
I bet you did.
I am kind of over the stripper music a little bit. Like I enjoy stripper music at times. Do you know what I'm saying?
that song would. I'm not gonna lie. I can imagine a stripper dropping off a pole to that in Miami. That song would go off for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, there are. I've noticed female artists make tunes specifically for strippers. You know, you can see that, like Nicki with Bees in the Trap, for example.
Yeah, it definitely is a thing, but I don't think it's just female rappers. I think male rappers do it too. Like,
yeah, but I think it's more enjoyable when it comes from a female rapper. Do you get me?
It's more empowering, I guess.
Yeah. But anyway, moving on.
It's a 2 for me.
Ooh. It's a 2 from me as well.
Yeah, 2 from me.
So that's a resounding 2 then.
Just a standout song.
Sorry, Meg.
Unanimous.
She's still a stallion.
From life
She
support.
is.
Cool.
She's still the pony. Megan the pony right now. We're waiting for the stallion to come true.
My little pony. Yeah, let's bring it back to the UK. So, who dropped from the UK?
Manny, sorry to cut you. Sorry, but I was going to say one more thing on Meg. I think it was Lippy Lickshot was on social media this week saying it's actually mad how Meg gets so much ratings and has such a big platform, such a big profile.
Yeah.
As a female rapper, when in the UK we have all of these other female rappers that are better than her, and it's true, we do. We're actually, like you said, I think we're blessed right now with a lot of quality female rappers, like Lady Lesha is one, Miss Banks another. There's so many quality rappers. Even pointed out that one the Gas Up Lighties are actually really good, and I'm not sure if I agree with him with that, but yeah, it's the fact that there's a lot of female rappers right now that are doing their thing. Nadia Rose is another. There's too many. Trinity Banks, like, come on, it's too many.
Look, from when Little Sims is added to Barack Obama's playlist or something for the summer, you know that the UK women are going to start getting recognised all over the world.
Big up Little Sims. She's so cool,
And
man.
it's well deserved.
Really calm, really nice person.
Calm. All right, then. So, moving on to the UK, let's look at Loski's album now. So, this album's titled Music, Trial and Trauma, a Drill Story. Who wants to take us through this one?
Can I start with this one?
Yeah, go on.
Because I actually got some quotes for this. Give me like a second with my binder. Okay.
Wow, this one
Look at that binder.
No, really. For real. So, like, real talk, I really enjoyed it. And I'm not someone who's really listened to drill music. I come from the era of grime. That's what I enjoy. But I have been so impressed with some of these, like, up-and-coming artists, you know, that we've been listening to for the past few weeks. And Loski is no exception. And one thing I really enjoyed about his work was there was low-key a lot of politics in there that could... He translated a lot of politics into something that was consumerable for his audience, and I loved it. And my top tune from the project was Anglo-Saxon because of that. The visuals, the juxtaposition of like these young, very outspoken, strong Black men against the backdrop of this English imperialistic history that we were all, you know, it was we all had to learn this in school, whereas our history was very overlooked. And to see that just juxtaposition in the visuals as well as the lyrics, I found it quite powerful. I found it really powerful. Yeah, so I was impressed.
So, like you, Afia, I'm not really into grime, and I think Manny put it nicely the other day. I don't understand chefing my ops, so I didn't expect much, but I've been pleasantly surprised by the amount of drill stuff that I've been liking as of late, and I don't know how to feel about that. But this album was really good. So the first half, I would say, is heavily drill, and I liked it, but I didn't like it that much. But as soon as I think Avengers is a tipping point with Fedor and Popcorn, as soon as that track comes on, like the whole tone of the album completely changes. And then towards the end of the album, after Interlude 2, which I thought was amazing, taking that small excerpt from Akala talking on This Morning, I think, we're talking to Piers Morgan.
Yeah, I love that.
I thought that was an amazing touch, especially given the actual title and how that's actually relevant to him and his personal life. I really liked the old school grime influence in the following tracks: Black, Blinded, and Life So Deep. Black was my standout song, and sampling Black Boys I thought was a really clever touch, and he modernised it for today's youth. Blinded, I think, is another Bashy song, but I can't remember which
Blinded
one.
is by the
Blinded
streets.
by the lights? Yeah, what are you talking
It's
about?
by the streets, and it was what's his name? Something Fish.
Mike Skinner.
Mike Skinner. That's
Yeah, but I swear Bashy's done a remix on the Chopper Chops tapes.
I love that tune. I loved
That
it.
is one of my favorites.
I swear Bashy's done a remix on the Chopper Chop tapes.
Yeah, he probably did, but it's not his
He
tune.
did the remix. He did the remix. And
Yes.
No, but I get what Ollie's saying. That his remix was really, really good.
Yeah, and that's where I learned about the streets from that remix. So the only thing I would say is that I'd have loved to see Bashy jump on one of these tracks, dust off his notepad, and just
I heard that as well.
Because Bashy is low-key one of the greatest ever.
Wait, why are we talking
MCs.
about Bashy?
Because he's like the last
Because
couple of
Bashy
tracks.
deserved to be spoken about. That's
Yeah, his last couple of tracks are heavily influenced by him, and I feel like man, Bashy's sick anyway. I feel like it would have been a nice touch to have him there, especially when you got people like Mike Skinner, Akala, and even Emily Sandé on the album.
Can I tell you a story quickly about
Bashy?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I went to this.
But you grew up in the East, innit?
Yeah, I went to this Barclays Masterclass on the top of Canary Wharf, and it was hosted by Bashy. So back in those days where you didn't really have smartphones, you only had the best feature on your phone was the voice recorder. So I had a voice recorder of Bashy saying, "It's Bashy, oi, big up Manuel still." That phone got stolen, and then
Oh no!
My condolences.
Sorry, mate, yeah.
Oh, thanks for that amazing story,
Who's next?
Annie. Really appreciated that. I'll go next. Loski is someone that I heard about a while back, to be honest with you, because I have siblings that are of the age where they will be listening to Jewel heavily. That's their main albums that they listen to. And I paid no mind to it because, okay, you're talking about Loski, but what's the music saying? I didn't hear it. I wasn't bothered to go and find out about it. So listen to this album going into it, knowing this guy is highly rated by his peers and by his audience, but not really expecting much. But I do know that with drill rappers, in my opinion at least, there are a handful that are actually very, very talented rappers, full stop. But their chosen genre is drill. But I find that, generally speaking, a lot of drill rappers are rubbish, but they just have good flows, but they got no real lyrics. Loski is definitely a talented rapper. His whole album showed that throughout pretty much every song, he had some sort of notable bar, and I thought to myself that this kid has actually got a real talent here. And he actually had really good beat selection as well, which I think sometimes is overlooked, but some rappers just have a knack for selecting good beats, and some don't. So even if their raps are good, it wouldn't matter because the beats are trash. But no, this is not the case here. As Afia said, Anglo-Saxon's a really good song. I really quite enjoyed Avengers with Fredo and Popcorn. Flavor with Stormzy was really good. I really like whenever Stormzy raps. It's very rare that Stormzy does a song that I don't like, but it was good. Cute with H. I really like H. I always say this in the pod. H is just he's not doing anything wrong. Every time he makes a song, I like it. So
you reminded me of something I wanted to ask, but continue.
Pretty much, but yeah, I just think to myself that he's just on a roll. So whenever he features, I'm expecting something from him, and he's delivering, and he definitely delivered on this track. The interlude of Akala on it, it's a snippet that I think probably most of us have heard before, but it's very powerful. I think Akala's he really is actually probably the the strongest black voice in terms of just like as an orator speaking about black matters. I don't think there's anyone with a more powerful way of speaking than him, or at least not for me in the UK. And that leading into Black was just perfect, and then Black going into Blinded is also really good. Like the album was like a really solid album, but I would say the second half was definitely stronger than the first, but the first half was strong as well. So yeah, I don't even know what I want to rate this album. I said it in the group chat earlier on today that I want to rate it highly, but I'm not even sure where I am with that. But we're not going to get the ratings yet. I'm going to give my standout song, which is Black, and
Black for me too.
I'll let Manny speak.
Cool, cheers, mate. For me, basically, I echo like what Ollie said. The first part of the album was very drill, and then after the interlude, I think that's when he starts to open up and start appealing to a more mainstream audience, which is probably like a smart tactic, if I'm being honest, because a lot of the features he has on this album are very strong. None of the features really miss, including Davido. Like, I thought that was, you know me, guys, I like my Afro beats. I really enjoyed that Niger Man track.
Hey, my guy Davido.
I like that track. I was actually feeling that track too.
Yeah. What else? The Carla interlude, I echo everything you're saying, and the fact that a young drill artist brought in Mike Skinner just shows that he's probably like a student of the game, or he has the right people around him, someone that's crafted that idea.
I agree with that. And I also want to point out as well that, as Ollie said, there's a couple of other tracks there that are sampling old classics. So again, it does lead back to being a student of the game, not just someone that's coming and making music right now. He knows the songs from before. Probably songs that if he brought up on, I don't know his family situation, maybe he's got an older brother or cousins or whatever that played these songs for him when he was younger. But it's definitely something that's influenced him as he's grown up.
Absolutely. I guess my standout song, I really liked Life So Deep before I was proper introspective as well. I liked Blinded, but my standout song is going to be Black too.
Quickly though, this is like off topic, but H. I feel like he's a solid feature artist, but I don't feel like he could make a solid album.
Because of his accent.
No, not because of his accent. not because of his accent.
Ollie the accent slayer.
Not because of his accent. I actually like his accent when he raps. I just feel like he puts so much energy into his feature tracks that when it's time for an album, I don't think he has enough to make 12 tracks where he has to do more than one verse.
Okay, well, he released an album earlier this year, right? It was called Polaris.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't listen to it.
Me neither.
But since the album's come out, he's just been doing features, and I liked all of the features he's done. So I'm going to go back and listen to it as well. But I'll say this year, sometimes, let's give you an example. Right? We are really going off on a tangent now, but look at Pusha T, right? Pusha T was part of a duo. And then when he first went solo, he struggled, I feel, to fill out the album with all of his bars because he basically having to double his work rate.
Pusha's name.
That's a fact. That's why his first album had a lot of features. Like every track had a feature on it.
So, apart from King Push. Yeah.
Okay, so one song, but the rest of the songs have features. My point is that sometimes what you said is true. Sometimes artists do struggle to put out, do many bars of high quality. That's the difficult part of making an album by yourself. Whereas with a feature, it's like one feature and you haven't made a song for like 2 weeks. You might have a lot of like creative juices flowing in your mind. But when you're making an album, it can be easy to kind of run out of steam a bit. You know what I mean? So I do get that aspect of it. And he's still young. He has so much time to improve and to grow and to flourish into even better rapper. So I do believe he will.
Before we go on too long, can I just say how sick the album art was as well, by the way?
I agree.
Just getting back to the album art on this was crazy sick.
Yeah, actually so was. It was.
Right, let's put some ratings out there.
Well, 4. I give it a 3. Oops.
Sorry.
What did you say, 4?
Yeah, 4.
I think you're saying 3.
Yeah.
Manny, what are you saying?
Oh, you go first.
No, Manny, you go. I know you're going to do a tactical vote, so you go first. You go first.
See, the thing is, I really enjoyed. No disrespect to Loski, but I really enjoyed.
Nothing to do with previous albums.
Wait, hold on. I really enjoyed Parsalou's album, and that for me was a 4.
Yeah.
So he's from the same school, right?
Just which from school doesn't mean the same
and I
quality.
feel, hold on. I just feel like Parsley has pipped him in terms of quality on this album. I really enjoyed that first
I agree.
third of the album. Had the whole album like had the same momentum as the final 2/3, and would have easily been a 4 for me. But it's a strong 3, so that's something that I think you should be happy with. For now, it's his first project, and it shows that he's got massive potential in the future.
See,
I appreciate you not doing a tactical vote there, Manny. It shows that you're a big man. But I'm gonna give it a 4 because I really enjoyed the album and I think he deserves it. And I feel like this is probably like the first drill album or an actual drill artist that's been given 4 ears from us. So I think that's actually quite a testament to the quality of his project.
So
I don't think this is better than Parsalou. I completely agree with Manny.
I think this is better than
think it's better.
Parsalou. And the reason why I say that is because he's flexed a lot more creativity. He's leaned on a wide range of stuff, and he's pulled everything together amazingly well. The interludes, it's like a throwback to old albums.
It is. It's actually a proper cohesive album, and it's not just tracks. It's got sections to it. It's taking you through a journey on the album.
You don't think that was there in Parsalou's project?
I don't think it was as well put together.
It wasn't as polished.
Really?
It was not.
I said it was a good album, but it wasn't polished. It's literally what I said last week as well. Not like I'm making this up. It's a good album, and I could see the roots there of the quality, but it just wasn't polished enough. It wasn't the correct. It wasn't fully.
You know what? That's fair enough.
Sometimes a diamond doesn't need to be polished. It's still a diamond. Do you understand?
Exactly.
I think with this album, he definitely didn't start off strong. Like, did you guys enjoy the first third of this album?
Yeah, I did. I like Teddy Bucks 2. I thought was sick. The thing is, none of us like drill, and the first half of the album is very drill orientated. But the fact that it captured us shows it's actually quite good. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde album, but it pulls it off really well.
Do you know what? I think the project itself is great. We're doing too much comparing it to Parsalou anyway. I don't know why he's become the standard exactly, but I think the fact that he has speaks volumes about his artistry as well. So that's what I'm going to say on that one. But yeah, we need to stop doing that comparison thing anyway, because I do think that even though they're from a similar school, as you said, they are different. There were distinctive differences in their styles and everything when I was listening to it. So I don't know if we can make the comparison anyway.
The comparison, I can't even say that we shouldn't do it because it's all about having things like moderated, right? So it should be like you've got to compare things, right? That's fine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just feel like these albums are quite different. And if you do listen to them back to back, you'll understand what I'm saying. Like the Loski album is really polished. Maybe like he's got an executive producer on his album that just helps him to piece it together better. Like sometimes you might have all of the right pieces of the puzzle, but you don't put them together perfectly, so the picture isn't perfect.
Do you not sometimes think that? Do you not sometimes think that a project being slightly rough around the edges can actually add to its character?
It can. It really can.
But I can't think of many examples where that's the case, though.
I don't think that's the case for Parsalou's. Like, Par's album is good, but it's not great. This album is great, and it's great for many reasons.
Well, we'll just have to agree to disagree as well.
Yeah.
I can do that. Yeah.
So, but it's the 4, though. That's the main thing. Get in there.
It's not a 4.
It's a 3.
It's a 3.
There's 2 4s and 2 3s. That was like a 3.
And Manny said a strong 3. So I'm saying that's like a 3.
No, but I gave it a strong 3 as well.
If you got 2 4s and 2 3s, right, then surely you got to round it up. How would you round it up?
Yeah, you have to round it up.
You have to get the average.
Yeah, so that would be 3.5 and you round it up.
Round it up. So, look, let's not go and have a maths lesson right now, but it's a 4. So, I love you guys. And let's move on to the next one.
Dun, dun, dun.
Manny's pissed right now. I can tell.
They ain't give Pa 4, but they give this
I'm
guy
actually
3.
no. I was actually doing the math, so I'm just trying to. What's it called? Yeah, I'm doing the math.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
No, but if both of you guys are saying it's a strong 3, and we're saying it's a 4, like a comfortable 4, does that
Can
not
we
mean
get
you should bump it up to a
maths out the
4?
way, please?
See, you
It's
guys
like
are too
medium,
generous.
low,
If it doesn't
medium,
reach the next one, I round it down.
range.
That's it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But if let's say you and Manny are both saying it's a
If I say it's a
3.75.
strong
We
3,
have a lot of projects to go through today, so can we not get stuck on this one, please, guys?
Okay.
Let's move on to the next one. But it's a 4,
have
though.
you finished
Anyway,
your KFC though?
I have. It was really tasty, but you can tell now that I'm on this conversation.
Should we
now.
talk about St. John?
Yeah, let's go for that one. It's a good one.
I enjoyed it. I think it wasn't like a super strong project. It wasn't something that blew me away or anything like that. But it's easy listening, something I could put on while I have a dinner party, for example, play it in the background. It was nice. It was chill. It was consistent. It was average. Not much more to say about it, but I enjoyed it. It was cool.
What was your standout song?
I don't remember. I did write it down. I don't remember.
That makes sense though. What you've just said, it's like it's nice music. It's chill music for the most part.
Exactly. I just wouldn't. Yeah, it's one of
So
those.
you just kind of zone out and vibe to it. I can understand that. And if it wasn't for me just constantly checking my phone to see what someone's playing, I do get that. But then, in a way, like this is what we talk about when we talk about the quality of an album.
Yeah.
That can be the sign of a quality album. The fact that you don't want to skip any tracks. It just really flows now.
I thought it was a quality album. I did. I thought it was a good album. It's something I would definitely listen to. It just in what context, like if I want to sit down and listen to bars, like lyrics and things, I don't know. If it's something I just want to throw on in the background and chill, be with friends, whatever, I could do that. So it's definitely a quality album for certain situations. I agree.
Yep. I'll go next on this one. Echoing what Afia said, right? It's a really nice album, but some of the songs they're a bit samey, but it's not even in a bad way. They do have their differences. You can listen to the album properly and understand that each song is different. It's not just a rehash of the one before. There's anything that really strikes out. There aren't any songs that I believe he's made for specifically be a single either, and I think that sometimes is a good thing. And I'm going to do another comparison here to my favourite artist of all time, Kanye West.
What?
Well, no, I'm joking. Obviously, I hate the guy. But the point is, I really do love his album. No, he's a dickhead. He's a dickhead. But anyway, I've said this many times on the pod, so there's nothing new here. But anyway, I do think his album...
self-loathing going on there, but anyway.
I do think his album... Oh, fuck off. I do think his album, My Beautiful Dark Fantasy, is amazing. I don't care. He's the one that told me that my forefathers said thought that slavery was a choice or whatever. So I don't care. I don't want any explanation about what he was saying either. Whatever.
Okay,
I don't care about him potentially being mentally ill or that either. I don't care about that. Let me just get to the point I'm making here. Yeah, My Beautiful Dark Fantasy. I think it was 10 years. It was released 10 years ago this past week, and there were no singles. There were no top 10 singles in the album. But that album was universally recognized as a masterpiece, pretty much. So, again, if you make an album where there's no real standout song, it's not a bad thing. Anyway, with that being said, my standout song for the album for St. John was "Wifey." I really quite enjoyed that song.
Cool.
Oh yeah, Wifey is the one that stood out to me too. Actually, out of all of them, it was Wifey. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the beat on that one is just like
I concur.
Really,
I think because through listening to like Joe Biden's podcast, you hear a lot about St. John if you listen to that podcast. But I haven't actually listened to his music. This is like my first time, and yeah, as an artist, he, as you guys have mentioned, he's got like a good vibe to him. You can sit and chill, and he collaborates with a lot of big hitters too. I'm surprised to hear Future on one of his songs as well, but pleasantly surprised, to be fair, compared to last week. They actually like sang together well. I guess my standout song on this album is Monica Lewinsky. Is it Lewinsky? Yeah.
I hated that.
Election, yeah. That was my first standout song.
Why did you like that song? The bars.
Yeah. I like the content of it.
I hated the content so much.
What did you hate about the content? Do you remember?
I feel like people need to leave Monica Lewinsky alone. It's like every woman who gives a blowjob ever in the history of the world after that moment is going to be called Monica Lewinsky. Like, that's how it feels.
That's the legacy.
It wasn't any blowjob, though.
I
It was the blowjob to the president. That's a special presidential blowjob.
Yeah, I know. But, like,
And
it was 20 years ago or something.
If you get a presidential blowjob, you know you're a very special man. Can I point out
That
as
was
well,
literally the blowjob that ended Bill Clinton's prestige. So that's a powerful blowjob.
It blew everything away.
Yeah, we need to leave her alone. Anyway, go on.
By the way, that song is called Quarantine Wifey, not just Wifey. It's called Quarantine Wifey. And it's featuring Jid, who's like one of my favorite rappers. He's also on Dreamville. So yeah. As you are, carry on. Manny, do you want to go next? Or you already said yours?
Yeah, I was just going to say, don't you feel like St. John could be like a Dreamville kind of, those kind of eyes? Yeah.
He does have that sort of vibe. He'd fit in well there. But I also think to myself, when someone's already experienced quite a bit of success, sometimes they wouldn't want to kind of join a label whereby, or label politics.
Yeah.
And I think if you've got a good thing going by yourself, then there's no point of actually ever joining something like that, whereby you might find, your release date gets pushed back because someone else wants to release or whatever. It's just not worth it. Yeah. Buddy.
So, am I the only one who kind of got Kid Cudi vibes from this album?
I can understand what you say, but I wouldn't say he was biting. I'm not saying you're saying he's biting.
No, not biting.
Not like that.
Not biting.
But definitely there's an influence there.
I got Kid Cudi vibes.
I think it's the pacing of the album as well, which is kind of
like Mandolin or something like that. Anyway,
do you know what? One thing that's not really spoken about. A lot of rappers these days are like Kid Cudi's sons.
Yeah.
I don't think there'd be a Lil Uzi Vert without a Kid Cudi. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Lil Uzi Vert is actually probably more Lil Wayne, to be fair.
I feel like he's a cross between the both of them.
Or even that.
He's a cross between both of them.
What you're saying is true, though. You got the Kanye clones, you got the Lil Wayne clones, you got the Kid Cudi clones. You even got a few Drake clones coming through as well now. Yeah. You do see that a lot. You see a lot of that.
Even Trippie Redd would be like a Kid Cudi clone as well.
I've never listened to him.
In some aspect.
I've never listened to him, but I seriously got Kid Cudi vibes on some of these tracks. Anyway, this was a really nice album. It felt kind of fresh, especially muddled up with the albums we listened to this week. I don't really have a criticism. I quite liked it. It's nice, background music just to have on, like Afia said, or just something just to walk to. It's a really nice album. And my favourite track was Pray For Me with Matt's idol. I like that track quite a lot, to be fair. I felt like Ye actually dropped some decent bars.
Agreed. Ye came hard on that one.
Yeah, man, it was a good track, and that was my standout song. When I heard it, I was like, "What? This is Kanye? This guy?" Yeah. And I was just like, "Damn!" I had to applaud. So, yeah, that was my standout song. But I did
Smiley.
I was just like, cool, bobbed my head as I was walking down the road. But I also like the following track, Quarantine Wifey, as well. But I don't think it was as good as Pray For Me. I feel like from track 6 to 12, it was just fire, personally. So that's from Monica Lewinsky, and the last track is Back on the Ledge. Every track between that was just sick to me.
Yes, you've got some really big features on here as well, Black, Kalani, Future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, ratings. Any Boogie on there as well? What are you rating? I'd give this one a 3 airs, to be honest with you.
It's a hard one.
I don't know how to rate this one.
It is
a hard one because I feel like this could have been a 4 as well, but for me, it's a 3.
This is. I'm sorry, but I always have to do a comparison. Right? We rated Masego a 4 last week, isn't it?
Yeah.
We did, but there should be like a little maybe an asterisk on that saying it's an EP.
It's an EP, yeah.
And when you got less tracks, it is easier to maintain the quality. Does that make sense? If you just put 4 good tracks on an EP, then it's a great EP, isn't it? Where it's hard to do that with, like, say, 12 tracks. So, yeah. But to me, Masega's album, his EP, was definitely better than this project. But like I said, you can't really put them in the same category because one's a lot shorter than the other. I'd be in agreement with that.
I think I would give it a 3, a strong 3 as well.
I'm going to go with a 3 as well. I feel like it could be a 4 on a right day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, why are we all struggling with this? Like, do you know what I mean?
Because it is actually a good project, but it's also...
It's so smooth. It's because it's so smooth. That's why.
It's really hard to put your finger on why it's good. It's just consistent.
Yeah.
It's consistently good from track to track.
If you say to someone, why is it a 4? It's very difficult to justify why it's a 4.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, if you say, why isn't it a 4? It's also very difficult to justify why it isn't a 4. So
I feel like if this came out under different circumstances, so he wasn't in quarantine and it came out in the summertime, we'd probably call this a 4.
With the vibes.
Yeah, we'd probably call it a 4.
That's what I keep imagining, like chilling with my friends in the summer, listening to this.
Or like barbecue music or something.
Exactly, yeah.
So I feel like it is a 4.
It's a 4.
I feel like it is a 4.
It's just creeping up.
4 from me.
If it's 2 4s, then what are you giving it as well, Manny?
I've given it a strong 3, and I'm sticking with it.
So it's still going to be a 4 anyway, so fuck it. It's a 4.
Yeah. I'll do the maths. 3.5. So, yeah.
Gee, you are smart. You're smart.
Got SOS Monica.
You definitely got all your GCSEs. Anyway.
I also I think you and Matt like the same track, Quarantine Wifey.
Yeah.
That's the right one. That's a standout song on that one.
You stand out song, but yeah.
What is the next album? Or can I quickly do another EP?
Yeah, man.
Let's do
Russ.
Russ get down.
Russ Demon. He done a Trump EP. Now, if people aren't familiar with Russ, right? Basically, he's a white rapper that seems to not really get much respect from people in the industry, or at least outwardly it seemed that way for a while, despite having massive levels of success. And to explain the levels of success he gets, he actually sells out arenas when he goes on tour, like not stadiums, not arenas. He sells out stadiums, so huge numbers. We're talking like 60,000 people in the crowd when he goes to do his shows, and this is for his shows, not at festivals either. So he has a huge following. He's not on a major label. He's an independent artist. He doesn't have the backing of Rock Nation behind him, or a Def Jam, or whatever. He doesn't get the same sort of advertising that you'd associate with a major artist. So when Drake's dropping, you see all these billboards all over Times Square with his album artwork, or wherever else in London, Tokyo, with albums being released. But what he does get is just crazy record sales. Now he's released an EP called Chomp. I think what he's done is he's actually went and requested features from some of the best rappers around, best rappers around, and I think he's done this to prove his own quality. What they say, if you can, whenever they have those old posse cuts back in the day, like with like when Kanye West was doing his Friday releases, and he had like tracks with Lanx and Fabulous and whoever else, be like 6 people on the song. And if you couldn't hang with those people, basically it means you couldn't rap. So what Russ has done, he's gone on this project. He's got Crooked Iron or King Crooked. All on there, he's got Busta Rhymes. He's got Bane the Butcher. Guys are very, very good rappers, and he's hung with them. He's literally delivered bar for bar to the same level of quality that they're at, and the songs are actually good as well. Black Thought's on the album as well, so Black Thought's one of the best rappers around, like just in terms of technical ability. And yeah, I just really enjoyed listening to it. It's only 23 minutes long, 5 tracks, but Russ, to me, has proven the fact that he really is a top tier rapper and should be considered that, especially when he's doing so well as an independent artist. And not only that, but when I see him on social media, he actually is very happy to talk about he does what he does and gives advice to younger rappers coming up as well. He's not someone that's got his little try to test technique and keep it to himself. He's actually happy to share the knowledge. But of course, not everybody wants to listen. So, yeah. Anyway, that's what I want to say on the Jump EP. For me, did anyone else listen to it, or was it just me?
I did.
Yeah, go on. You can go.
Okay, Afia, what did you think?
I actually like Russ. I've heard of him before. I've kind of had a look at his antics behind the scenes. Well, not really behind the scenes.
He's a bit gang. I don't get it. I don't get it. But he's punched up a couple rappers at festivals. It's a bit mad.
Yeah, I think he's aware of the fact that he doesn't get respect in the industry. I don't know why. Lyrically, I've understood for quite a long time that he's good.
Honestly, what it is, I feel right, and I think that it applies to Eminem and pretty much every other white rapper I can think of that's had big success. They're normally co-signed by a black rapper. So Eminem had Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Mac Miller had a lot of black artists that worked with him and would co-sign him. And it was a case of every other white rapper I can think of. Yellow Wolf was with Eminem, who's obviously on Dr. Dre. What other big white rappers are there? Logic.
So why aren't they co-signing Russ? What's going on?
Hey, Logic's bad.
Maybe this is the project where they do. What was that? I missed it.
He's just as black as his cousin, something.
He's as black as Bob Marley or whatever. Yeah, because basically Logic is mixed race, but he looks really white. But he makes a big thing about always saying
he's
that
one of my peoples, isn't it?
Every single track, he's justifying that he's black.
I'm black.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I really empathise with Logic as with the way I look. So But anyway, that's another subject for another day. With Russ, my favourite tune from him actually is an old one called "Losing Control." And I find with his projects, there's always a lot of depth to each one, like he always brings lyrical content. I mean, he is just outstanding with it. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It was cool. It was short. It was packed full of bars. It was great. That's pretty much it. I give it a 3.
It was bars, but it also sounded good. Like sometimes,
it sounded great.
We did Black Thought a couple of weeks back, right? And like I said here, Black Thought is an amazing rapper, but that album just didn't hit because although the bars were excellent, the songs didn't really connect with me. They just didn't sound good. So what Russ has done here is actually excellent because it is heavy on the bars, but also sounded good as a song.
It really did. In fact, I give it a 4. I don't know what I'm talking about 3s. 4. It was brilliant. Everyone should listen to it.
We're giving out 4s like candy today, but you know what? It is a 4 because it's very short. Like I said, only 5 tracks, but the quality is high.
This is how all projects should be now. 5 tracks, something like that. Quality, done.
So there's 2 things I'm going to say here. One, I think the only thing I might say about this album, about this EP that maybe brings it down a bit is the fact that there isn't much cohesion between the tracks. It's literally just singles. There's no story being told or any sort of journey being taken on. 2, I totally agree with what you're saying, that there's no need for people to be releasing really long projects. Just do a short one and, just keep the quality high. I really hate seeing, probably the one that does it the worst actually. He will release a 45-track album and there'll be maybe 10 tracks on there that are actually any good. Why not just release those 10 tracks? But then do multiple drops a year. So you do 10 tracks now, you do another 10 tracks in 3 months' time, another 10 tracks in another 3 months' time, and you'd probably find the quality to be higher that way because, you just have more time to refine it.
Let me ask you guys, did you guys who listened to it, did you find that you had to go back and re-listen because he just it was just so much, you have to kind of take your time to take it all in?
Yeah.
In all honesty, I didn't keep going back and listening to it, and the only reason was because I didn't have time to keep re-listening to it. But I know that I will go back and re-listen to this album again, or sorry, this EP again. It's definitely got more for me to absorb from it.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
But anyway, so you give it a 4, and you know what? I'll probably just back that as well, make it a 4 too, because it's a quality project.
I'm just gonna jump on what you guys are saying. This has always been someone that can create really good songs. What's kind of interesting is I look at people like G-Eazy, and G-Eazy's accepted into hip hop community. You have people like this new guy, Jack Harlow, and he's like kind of accepted into the music. And I think what differentiates all of them is Russ is independent, isn't it?
That's what I was gonna say.
So
Jeezy has definitely had the label boost, but Jack Harlow, he 100% has. I don't even understand how he gets some of the features he gets. He has some mad features from nowhere.
Because it's the label boost, isn't it? So I think that's
the label
what
pushes these features onto him or makes it happen, basically, one way or another.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like that's probably why we don't see Russ as accepted in the hip hop community as like others. But
he said it himself, though.
Say again.
He said it himself. He's been on interviews. I remember he did an Everyday Struggle interview, and he said that he's not respected in the industry like a lot of other rappers. But then he went and listed up his achievements and why he should be respected. And I remember seeing an interview, thinking to myself, "Wow, this guy, he ain't lying. I can't even argue what he's saying, and it's true. He should be respected more."
But the thing is, like when it comes, I think there's a difference between respect and there's a difference between like being allowed into the culture properly. Like I feel as though he's not allowed into the culture because, and you know, I don't think hip hop is as controlled by us as people like to think it is.
I don't think it's controlled by us at all.
So,
I don't think it's all, and I think that I feel like his barrier to being in the culture is literally just him being featured with artists that we consider to be the culture.
Yeah,
that makes sense. And so I agree with what you're saying. Like, if we didn't see him with those people, if he was always on these, if he had a track every now and then with Drake, or with J. Cole or whoever, if he had J. Cole on his album and they did a video together, you'd be like, "Oh look, there's Russ and J. Cole." Like, you know, you'd be like, "Oh, you must be one of the gang." Yeah. If he was like one of those songs like with Drake and like remember like when Drake was always hanging with Rick Ross and French Montana making their songs together, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's the culture," but he's never like that. But
see, that's what takes me. How can someone like Russ be outside of the loop, and then someone like French Montana is in the loop?
I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is. It's because the message that Russ preaches is very different to Drake. That's exactly what it is. It's like, as Universal gonna clear a song with one of their biggest artists on a track with someone like Russ, whose catalogue is just pure prosperity, independence. Do you know what I mean? It sends the wrong message. It's like
absolutely.
Yeah.
I find it quite funny as well because I always say to myself, I don't understand why artists remain with their record labels when they get to a certain level. Like I'm sure they get more favourable terms, but does Drake need to be on a major record label?
Sometimes it's just comfort, isn't it? To know that you have the machine behind you.
It's just like he doesn't need it though, does he? Like if Drake could do an album of lullabies and it would go to number one.
But then you have to think not every artist is built like Drake.
No, they're not.
You know
That's what I said when you get to the level of someone like Drake, like a Beyonce, like a Jay-Z, whatever, you don't need to be. I think Jay-Z probably has
No, you gotta remember, it doesn't matter how much money they're making or what status they have, there's still people with insecurities, and some people like to be employees and not the employer because of the risks.
I hear that. And I know that part of it as well. Like, you know, when you go on tour, the record label will put up a lot of money up front, as a budget for a tour. You can get all these different extravagant items for the tour. But I just think to myself, you know what? Yeah, if you put your own money up, then you're gonna get much more back. But yeah, that's another subject altogether. What's the next project?
Cool. What? So has everyone given their ratings? Like, Ollie, did you want something?
I said 4.
I didn't listen to it.
Oh.
I'll give it a 3 for me.
Oh, you listened to it, Manny? Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 3 as well.
What was just a standout song on that? My Own Stockholm Syndrome.
I really like the one with Absol.
Who Wants What? That was a good song as well.
Yeah.
All the songs were good.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll give it a 4.
Yeah,
and
so
for the SOS, I'll just go with whatever Matt said.
Cool.
That's 2 4s and a 3.
I'm going to start off then with French Montana. So
Montana.
this album CB5, Coke Boys 5, right?
Yeah, what?
CB5 is the title of the album and
CB5.
everything.
Yeah,
But that
CB5.
stands for Coke Boys, right?
Was it
That's his,
CB5 or CBA5?
CB5. Coke
Or
Boys
was it
5.
CBS? Because I CB.
Oh my god, guys! Come on, you're killing me. You're killing
I
me.
have to say the name of the album really bugged me.
Why?
It just really did. I don't know. I just kept thinking it was CBA, like can't be asked. But number 5, like literally. But anyway, go on.
The Coke Boys series of mixtapes, right, is what got French to where he is now. I said when we were talking before about like how can French Montana be considered part of the culture, or whatever. He was like one of the 10 years ago, maybe a bit longer than that. He was one of the main guys in the New York rap scene.
But that's like saying Russ hasn't contributed anything to the scene either.
I'm not saying that Russ hasn't contributed. I'm saying that French Montana was essentially the wave. Like when we're talking about how he was linked up with
Well, listen. Just what I'm gonna say. I don't like him, so that's my bias. The audience should be aware. I don't like French. But anyway, we'll talk about that another day. Carry on.
No, why don't you like French though?
Because he's a colorist. I've said this to you guys.
You filthy
colorist.
And he uses black people as props in his videos and things like that. He leans on his black Africanness to is that a thing, Africanness? But he leans on the black African identity to excuse his inexcusable colorist behavior. And he uses African people as props and stuff without acknowledging that on the continent there is a lot of colorism that comes from some communities that look like him, whether they're African born or not. And I can say that as a mixed Arab African towards black Africans. And he completely ignores that, and he leans on the fact that he's African to excuse his behavior. Because people outside of the continent don't actually tend to know the amount of colorism and racism that black Africans deal with from communities like his. So that's it. That's all I've got to say, and it pisses me off no end that he's given a pass. But anyway, go on.
God damn.
Damn. But did he not grow up in New York, or did he grow up somewhere else?
I don't give a fuck where he grew up. He's not a black man. He shouldn't be using the N-word. He shouldn't be talking about black women the way he does.
N-word thing in America, I don't get it, because I feel like everybody just seems to get a pass. I don't get it.
No, do you know what? Forget even the N-word thing, just the way he speaks about black women. If black men really want to protect black women, stop giving this guy excuses, justifications, and outs. He's a colorist when it comes to black women, and he should be called up for it. That's it. That is a different subject, yeah, for another day.
Keeping it real, black men in general, especially in America, shall I say, I don't think that black men do much to protect their women, but that's another subject altogether.
That's another subject for another day, but I'm letting the audience know my bias. Yeah.
I just was getting a 1 from Afia, but anyway. Okay, with that being said, Afia, go and give your review of the album.
Are you waiting on Manny?
Yeah.
Oh, Manny speaking on this one.
Yeah, I'm here.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Yo, this, I'm not gonna lie, out of all the albums this week, this was by far the hardest one to listen to. This was
Wow,
so
you bugging.
hard.
You bugging.
No,
I feel like we listened to Meg this week, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. You bugging.
No. This was. I could. This lasted even longer than Meg though, so that's why I guess it was probably harder for me.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I didn't like it. I felt like maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's like a theme around like Coke Boys, because there was a lot of features from Max B. He had recordings from Chinks making appearances. You had features from Pop Smoke as well. So like paying a lot of homage to a lot of these New York greats that have been lost. As well as embracing some of the new school, like Benny the Butcher, etc. But yeah, I didn't enjoy it. Compared to, let's say, the rappers of his class, let's say Ti, I would say is probably in that class with French. And Two Chains, they've both released albums in the last month, and this doesn't even like touch those albums that have been released. So when you're saying I'm bugging, I definitely don't think I am. I think you're bugging when if you say this is a good album. That's all I'm saying on this one.
I feel like I need to jump in. So personally, I am not a French Montana fan, but I do believe in every album he has at least 3 tracks that are either good or excellent. That's about it for my review, to be honest. Like, there's not much to
Did you
say.
find one?
Yeah, there was a couple. But I felt like he was leaning on past hits. So there was a song. I think it's Paradise, and I think it's a rehash of Unforgettable.
Yeah, it is. It is. He
Yeah,
tried to remake it because obviously Unforgettable was a huge track.
Yeah.
Every club that was being played in, every radio station was playing it, every music channel was being played on. It was crazy. It was a huge, huge banger.
yeah. So there actually was a few good tracks on this album. I feel like the one with Youngboy was actually really good. The one with Benny the Butcher was sick. That was my standout song, Wave Blues. The one with Currency I quite liked. And You Deserve an Oscar was really good. And what's interesting is that in some of the features, or some of the tracks that have features, they do a lot more rapping or singing than French Montana does. I found that quite funny. So Paradise, he's barely on the track. The track with Young Boy, Never Broke Again, I'm pretty sure he does a hook and he does a verse the same length, so all French does is one verse. Like, there's not a lot of input from French himself, but if I had to pick out a song that he himself done that was good, that would be You Deserve an Oscar. Anyway, it's definitely better than Meg's because there's 4 tracks that I can name that I'd listen to again, and there's none of Meg's. But with that being said, it's not a good album anyway. I don't think French can make good albums or mixtapes. I just think he has a collection of really good singles that chart really high.
I agree with Ollie. Sorry, go on.
I feel like French is on the way out. Like, I don't. Do you think he's got another massive single in him again? I don't know.
I think he does. I think he does for the next few years, but personally, I don't really care. So they may be massive, but I might not like them. So I hated Unforgettable, but I appreciate that it was a massive hit.
I love that song.
Oh.
It's great.
Well, Unforgettable was a banger, bro. What are you talking about?
I hate French Montana, but I like that song.
Do you know what's funny? He barely raps in that song.
Yeah, Sway Lee makes it what it is.
It's 60% Ray Sherman.
But the thing is, which is quite unfortunate, is that I don't think French could afford that Ray Shrimmer fee this time around. So do you know what I mean? Like, that's why he got some younger from wherever he's found this young guy and was like, look, we're gonna try and recreate the flavor. And
bro,
he's got
money. He's got money.
Yeah? I'm not saying he doesn't, but what I'm saying is, like,
didn't French have money from the trap?
Hold on. He tried to recreate the flavor of that song using substitute ingredients. It's never going to reproduce the same meal.
That's like trying to make caramel porridge, but you haven't got your nutmeg or your almond extracts.
There you go.
So it's a bit off.
Well, like, French's biggest song to date, in his career to date, I believe, is Unforgettable. And
I don't think it is.
What's his biggest song then?
I'm gonna have to Google this, but he's got bare big hits. Like
No. I don't think you realize how big Unforgettable was. Let's have a look at that. Google it, please. But anyway, whilst you're googling it, I will say that his biggest song to date is called Unforgettable, but this album was most definitely forgettable. It wasn't anything great. I feel like it's feature heavy, but I guess it's done that way on purpose because of the fact that it's just it's a 5th installment of a mixtape series, so I can understand why he's done that. And also throughout his career, I feel like he's always lent on other people's aura, their rave, their creativity, their sound. So yeah, it's nothing really new here in that sense. What were the good songs? I quite liked Phenomenon with Max B. I quite liked Falling with Currency. Those are the 2 songs that I liked. Everything else, I didn't think anything of it. But yeah, when I think of French Montana, he's a vibes guy. So you don't really listen to his raps for actual rapping ability. You listen to some of the stories he used to tell about selling drugs, and you just get the vibe of, it's like a gangster vibe, or it's just a rave, like, reflexive sort of vibe. But that's about it. There's nothing more to it really, and yeah, it is what it is.
He's only had one number one,
which is unforgettable.
Yeah, but one of his other big tracks was No Stylist. That's a song that I was thinking of.
Okay, I remember that song. But then again, that's a feature. Who's the feature? Who's the feature? That's Drake, isn't it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Drake's the one that carried that song. Every song he has, somebody else is the one that's carrying it. Stay Scheming was a big song for him. That's Drake and Rick Ross again.
That's a Rick Ross track, though, isn't it?
Stay Scheming is...
It's a Rick Ross track.
Yeah, it is Rick Ross's track.
Don't Stop.
Pop that, yeah, pop that. He's getting carried by Rick Ross, Drake, and Lil Wayne on that track.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he gets these placements on huge tracks, but they're not his. Or even if it is his song, he's not the one that you're listening to. Like Unforgettable, everyone listened to Sway Lee on that. You could do that song. You could do that song without French's bars, and it would go to the number 1 as well.
Actually, you can find it on YouTube. I listened to that version.
Yeah, people edit it out. Yeah, true. People did. I think Dave East did a remix of that as well. His remix is way better than French's version.
Yeah, so I like that one.
Yeah, so my point is that I don't really listen to French, but he ends up getting these placements on some great songs. So you end up listening to him by default, if that makes sense.
He's a terrible rapper.
Let's get the ratings, guys.
Wait, Afia, you haven't given your review yet.
Oh no, he's hot garbage. I mean, he is still burning. I can smell him. Unfortunately, unfortunately, it is just terrible. But that's just me. I don't like him. So because of my bias, I give him a 1. Without my bias, I give it almost a 2. 2, I suppose.
Wait, so you're saying, Manny, you're saying that this is worse than Meg's album?
1, yeah.
Manny,
if you give it a 1, I give it a 1.
You're legit saying it's worse than Megan's. Like there's like a smidgen of content here.
You can say you're legit saying as many times as you want. Bro, this is a 1 for this was so painful.
Okay. I'm giving it a 2.
Exactly. You didn't even get. Why didn't you give it a 3 since you're jumping out at the bandwagon for him, man?
Do you know what? At least Meg had Savage and Body.
What Savage is like? Savage is only good because of Beyonce's verse, and that's like a single.
But we can make the same argument for every single one of French Montana's tunes. Do you know what I'm saying? So
that is a checkmate move. That. Do you know what? There's one good track on that album, and that's Shots Fired on Meg's album. This album has 4 decent tracks.
No.
It doesn't.
It
doesn't.
You know what? You guys are haters, isn't it?
It really doesn't.
Y'all are something like my boy Frenchie Montana. Anyway, I'm giving it a 2.
Move on from this one. I'm bored.
What are you giving it, Matt?
What are you giving it?
2.
Oh my days. Coke boys, you guys are on that stuff, innit?
I think we'll have to give it a 2 then, overall.
What did everyone give it?
2 1s and 2 2s, so half and half.
Okay, there you go. I'm not going to give it a 1 because some of the beats were kind of jiggy. But yeah, can we go to some UK news?
Yeah, sure.
Let's talk about.
Wait, hold on. But before, can I drop some socials? Because I haven't dropped any socials so far.
Go ahead, Manny. Go ahead,
guys.
Give us the socials, Manny.
If you're listening to us, follow us Whoa, what's that, Ollie? What are you trying to say, man?
Let's just get it out there, man.
Alright, so if you're listening to us, follow us on Instagram at EarSauce_. Follow us on Twitter at EarSauce_. If you want to follow myself, I'm on Twitter at Emmanuel Yates 90. Matt, what's your socials?
My Instagram is at Mr_Matty Lee. My Twitter is at Mr. Matty Lee. Oliver, what is your socials?
Yeah, my socials are Twitter at OCClark_10.
Damn. Afia.
Yeah, so Matt sounded like everyone's odd uncle just then. Mine is earsource.afia, and you can find that on Instagram. That's pretty much it. No dick pics.
Oh, she wants them, guys. She wants them.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Not even as banter.
She said she only wants the pictures if they're big and juicy.
What you can't see is that when she says it,
Listen.
If you got a small wincy one, then don't bother, guys.
What's
Otherwise,
a wincy one? That's interesting. What's a wincy
I
one?
don't know. I don't
Like
know
an
what
itsy
that's
wincy
myself, so
spider.
I wouldn't know. You know. But anyway, moving on swiftly.
Yeah.
UK news. There's been some mad shit flying around recently about a certain rapper who goes by the name of Dutchavelli. He's been accused of grooming a 14-year-old girl, which is just a bit mad, really. But somebody hacked his Instagram and basically took screenshots, whatever, of some of the other
there was
conversations he's been having.
way more than like just that 14-year-old girl he had.
Yeah, I'm saying the 17-year-old and 18-year-old is what he was talking to, and he's 27. So, like,
exactly.
9 years might not be an issue when you're 40 and 31, but when you're 27 and 18, that's definitely an issue. And yeah, but anyway, the youngest one is 14 years old, and apparently this girl is a family friend's daughter, or something like that, something like that. There's a connection between Dutch and her dad. But yeah, it's all blown up there. And as we're recording the pod right now, I'm actually.
I believe he was the former manager.
That's right. And I think it goes a bit deeper than that. I think it goes back to the streets as well. But anyway, yeah, as we're recording the pod now, I've been on my phone and I've been seeing that the Shade Bros posted up that Dutchavelli's sister, Steph London, has actually has broken her silence, and she is talking about. She's trying to basically discredit the person that's made the claims against Dutch. So this is a little bit mad, but they're taking angles of the guy that said it is not mentally well, and they've said that he's deleted messages as well to make it seem that the conversation was untoward. I don't know what's going on anymore. So I think that when someone's accused of being a pedophile, that's like a really serious thing, and I know it's a sort of claim that. It's a big stigma attached to it. Like even if you're later cleared of it, it's gonna stick with you forever. So I don't even know what to say right now because of the fact that this what's coming out now from Steph London. I need to understand what's being said there properly. But what I can say is that what I did see on his original message, it looked very, very incriminating for Dutch. But yeah, I don't know, man, it's still a bit mad.
Yeah, it's a hard one to be honest. Actually, it's not really a hard one. It's something that has now been thrown into the court of public opinion because obviously there's no criminal charges, right? However,
yeah, the police are not involved as far as I know.
Yeah, exactly. So again, like you do have to act with some sensitivity. I've seen a lot of people comparing this situation to the incident that happened in South London where the young girl was almost abducted and was sexually abused by a pedophile. I've seen a lot of comparisons to that situation. People accusing Dutchavelli of grooming this 14-year-old girl. However, again, with no criminal charges against him, it's hard to call him such titles. But what I will say is I don't condone his behavior. Like, as a grown man, he definitely shouldn't be sending messages to young females or not, and saying that he wants to imitate poses of like couples with that young individual, because it takes away from the familyness of it all. It makes it romantic, and if once you cross that line, that's when you provide ammo um to people that can call you that title. So I don't know who's on Dutch Eddie's team. Number one, why is he getting hacked? Number two, why is he sending those messages in the first place? But this has done a lot of damage to his career, and I can see that going forward in the future. And if he doesn't be careful and, I don't know, somehow work with a PR crisis team and nip this in the bud, then this will probably have impacts. Maybe not a huge impact
Do you,
because
do
we've
you, do you know what, right,
seen what happened
Manny?
with
The,
Nicki.
the only reason why this guy's not finished already is
Yeah,
because of who his sister is. His sister's basically the
exactly.
biggest female artist in the UK. I can't, or except for what, Adele, who's a
Yeah.
bigger female artist than him in the UK than Steph London. So,
Well,
um,
you have Dua Lipa, you have lots of other female
is she
artists.
English? I didn't even know she was English.
Yeah,
You know,
Dua Lipa's
I thought
English.
she was American. Okay, cool. So, but anyway, she's up there. My point is that she's a major label girl, and she will put her weight behind him to to probably get this to all blow over. But that's not right. If the guy is guilty of this 14-year-old one, it's really bad. The ones that are older, it's still morally reprehensible, right? It's morally
Yeah.
wrong. However, it's not illegal. But the 14-year-old one, that is scary, bro. That is proper predator, sexual predator shit, man. That's scary, but
Yeah, but I think,
like I
but
said,
then
it's
the thing,
alleged right now.
I guess what you have to be careful around is there's no criminal charges, so
I said it's alleged right now. I'm not saying I said
yeah,
if. I'm not saying that he did it, but I'm saying that as we know, before anything goes to court, you have the court of public opinion,
of course,
and right now, I'm saying that Dutch isn't getting it as bad as he would be getting it because of who his sister is. Because a lot of other artists that would probably speak out on it, they're not saying anything because they want to get that feature from Steph London in the future. So they're staying quiet. And I also believe that Dutch himself has got he carries weight in the streets. So maybe some of the guys that want it with him will stop. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say on the matter.
Ollie, you guys are a bit quiet. What are your thoughts on this situation?
I feel like you guys pretty much summed it up, man. I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, but if it is, like personally, I just think it's disgusting, man. I don't really have much more to say on the topic. It's just it's not like, even if if it is true, like, you have to be really dumb to do stuff like this. It's wrong anyway. You shouldn't do it. But even still, like, it's just wrong,
You
man.
know, Ollie, you're right on that. You know, you have to be really dumb because I think to myself as a like a grown man, right? And even like say 10 years ago when I was a bit younger, and you texting girls, there were certain things that I just would refrain from texting because I just wouldn't want that to ever come back on me. Because women screenshot thing, I'm talking about grown women in here as well, not talking about underage stuff. I'm talking about
Mm-mm.
if I could text a woman tomorrow saying, "Oh, I really love you," you know, and then she would screenshot that and then say, "Oh, look, Matt told me that he loved me, and then now look what he's doing now," or whatever. You know what I mean? So people screenshot shit. So why would you even put yourself in a position to be screenshotted? Like, don't do that. Like, it's just dumb. Like, take away the pedophilia aspect of it. It's just fucking stupid. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
exactly that.
I think you have to think about this as somebody who, I mean, like R. Kelly, for example. Everything he did was extremely, exceedingly stupid, but it's about your surroundings, the people who are around, etc., what they're willing to enable, how much money you have, how much clout, all of that stuff. And if you are in a bubble where, you're top dog, it's possible that you won't think of it as stupid because you're used to getting what you want. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You feel a bit invincible, whatever.
I do.
Who knows why people take risks like these? Who knows? Overall, on the subject, I'll say what I've been saying for a couple of weeks now. Protect Black women. Protect all women, especially our young women. We got to tackle the culture. This is where there's certain things in the Black community as well, when it comes to the way we treat our women, we have to address. Misogynoir is not, a joke. It is a serious thing. And these things, they don't happen in isolation. It's not in its own little isolated little bubble that this occurred. We are a society, and as a society, we mold people, right? And we just have to kind of look at this as a bigger issue, I think. That's it. That's all I'm going to say.
I head up. So, and I agree that there's so much we can do outside this one incident. So many ways that we can improve things in general. Well, okay. Is there any other news that anybody wants to discuss, or are we going to get back to
we had MOBO Awards nominations come out today. A lot of artists were upset.
oh yeah, that's right. JK, I saw he was upset about it.
I think they got their personalities section spot on, because a lot of Black presenters have been doing bits this year. What else?
So hold on, the Grammys went out as well today, didn't they? So there was a Grammys and a MOBO Awards.
Correct.
Right, and with the MOBO Awards, I heard that basically all the drill artists that were nominated were from London, and everyone else was ignored. And it was the Grammys. The big news was that The Weeknd got 0 nominations. So that's a bit strange, considering I think this most recent project had his biggest ever single in it. So yeah, a bit strange.
Also, Lil
Very strange.
Baby didn't get nominated for Best Rap Artist as well.
And he's had a very strong year, actually.
Yeah, he has.
I think that these award shows are just all completely foolishness, to be honest with you. Like, especially in terms of the MOBOs, I don't understand, because the MOBO Awards are meant to be like the Musical Black Origin Awards, and I thought that they were curated by Black people, but the artists that tend to get honoured are often not Black, or the music they make is like stuff that I don't know if it should even really be winning awards quite often. And then there was before, and it's not so much now, but before there was a huge bias towards the American artists, even if it was an English award show. With the Grammys, I don't see why any Black artist or artists of like hip hop, whatever, even cares about them, because it's not, those awards don't make any sense. They don't make any sense. I think Lil Nas X got nominated for Best Album last year, and he didn't even make an album. He dropped an EP, and it was trash. I didn't understand how he was nominated, but it's all decided by the record labels anyway. So yeah, I don't really pay much. I don't see winning a Grammy as actually being the best best analysis or best description of how good your album was. Let's put it that way.
No, fair point. Okay, cool. Outside of those items, we have a couple more reviews to go through. I think we'll just speed through them. So, Rich the Kid, did anyone listen to Rich the Kid?
Yeah.
I didn't listen to him.
I did.
I
Do you want to give us a quick walkthrough?
You can go first, Afia.
Oh no, go for it, Ollie.
That was so polite.
It's all right. There's nothing like noteworthy in this album. It's not terrible, but it's not good. I didn't catch any feels from it. I didn't get any vibes. Just
Yeah.
it was an album of nothingness. I gun to my head, if I had to pick a standout song. Sorry, I've got to go through the chat list again. It would be Took a Risk.
Okay. Cool. Afia, what did you think of the album?
I once again agree with Ollie. It was a whole bunch of nothing. I literally had to power through it. I don't remember the songs, their names, nothing. I will not be listening to it again. It was garbage, 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 garbage.
All right, cool. So, what do you give this hot garbage album?
I give it a 1. Straight. I'm tired of the same story. I don't care how much money you have anymore. Tell me something new.
That is actually a fair point. That sums up the album pretty much. I'm sticking with a 2 for my worst. This is probably on par with Meg.
No, I can't.
I feel like Meg targets you well.
Yeah.
As opposed to me, I can't.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah. Anyway, carry on, guys.
Let's move on then. DaBaby, Brother's Keeper.
Ooh.
I enjoyed this one.
Same.
Yeah. What do you guys?
I enjoyed it. DaBaby is a rapper that when he first came out, I didn't think much of him. I thought he just gonna be like another one of those rappers that's gonna just chat a lot of shit and just sell records on the same thing that we talk about Rich the Kids, right? But he's got a bit more depth to him, and I feel like he knows that he raps in a certain style, and that style works for him. He's actually spoken about it before. He said that he can do it differently, but he just chooses not to because what he's doing right now works, and I respect that. This project here is a short one. Was it like 7 tracks, something like that? Let me check.
Yeah, 7 tracks.
7 tracks, and it's all good quality. I think the worst track on it is probably 8 Figures with Meek Mill, but that's one that he's really just talking about money from a bragging perspective. But Keeper was a strong track, but the song that I liked the most was Gucci Pico.
Yeah.
And I looked at the name of the track because I think I saw the video before I listened to the album for this one. And I thought to myself, okay, Gucci Pico, okay, he's just going to be talking about how much he's balling, but that's not what the song was about at all. It's a strong project, quite political, talking some street stories in there as well. Yeah, decent.
Nice. Afia, what did you think?
Oh, can I just tell you how much I loved Gucci Pico? Because it was... his style, his flow, none of it is something that I would usually listen to. But I love this project. I love the feels. It came with all the feels. It was so emotional. And I almost cried listening to Gucci Pico and watching the video. Like, literally, I was so moved by it. And I could see that even though it's not something that would usually, like, you can see there's such a huge cultural divide between us. I don't get this guy's way of grieving. I don't get his style, nothing. But when he was talking about the macrocosm of what was going on in America recently, and what he was trying to do to be part of the movement and be positive and, be a good member of society. And then in the microcosm of his world, this was happening and how much it affected him. And when he brought those two things together, I just absolutely loved it. I thought it was a great song. Yeah, I love this project. I give it a 4.
I actually have started to become a fan of DaBaby, and I literally echo what Afia Matt said. I think it's a really well thought out project. Dances, but he's delivered it really well. He's done justice. The only track I didn't like was 8 Figures as well, but it's really good. And Gucci Pico is my standout song as well.
Manny? Okay.
I think you guys have summed this one up nicely. And there's not really much I can add to it. Gucci Pico was probably my standout song as well. Super emotional, impacts on his family, losing his brother. You really felt it on the track, to be honest. Again, this felt like an EP but I would probably want Lil Baby to have a bit more time before he comes out with an album, because I think there's a bit of trauma that needs addressing there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so sad how such great art can come out of so much pain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it makes sense because music's about expressing yourself, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
All right, cool. Let's zip past that one.
What do you rate it, though? We haven't done ratings. I think only
Okay,
Afi
cool.
rated.
What do you? I'll let your speaker. So what do you rate it?
I'm giving it a 4 as well.
Okay. 4 from me, Afia.
Yeah, 4.
And Matt.
Well, you guys really rated on highly. I thought it was a 3. I don't think it was that good for it to be a 4, but okay.
Damn, 4s all around. Cool. Next one. Let's look at Meek Mill's Quarantine Pack.
Hype. I liked it. It's only 4 tracks, but yeah, it's typical Meek Mill. The best was middle of it, I think, maybe Paying Away with Lil Durk. But yeah, it's not really it's a Meek Mill project, so everyone knows what Meek Mill does, and that's what it is. That's the best way of describing it.
Hot garbage.
What, really?
No, I'm exaggerating. No, it's not hot garbage. It just isn't for me. So.
He said he's got lots of women and drugs and guns and diamonds. I don't like it.
That's not what I was saying at all. It just didn't move me. It didn't do anything for me.
I don't really know what to make of this. I like. It's only 4 tracks long, right? I'd say I liked 75% of it. There's one song I didn't like. I think it might have been GTA. Yeah, GTA was a song I didn't like.
No, that's literally the same for me.
It's good though. I feel like it had energy up until GTA. Then GTA killed it, and then like Think It's a Game clawed it back, but then it finished. So I don't really know what to rate this. I'd just say it's a 3, maybe a 3 for me.
Yeah, it's a 3. It's only 4 tracks, so it's never it could never be that high. But yeah, it's a 3. The 3 tracks are good, and one that it wasn't like totally shit. It just wasn't that good.
It just broke the flow.
But isn't it interesting how we were talking earlier about projects being shorter, quality over quantity, and now you're saying, oh well, it was only 4 tracks and half of it was trash. You know.
But it wasn't half of it, was it? It was 1/4.
75% was good, and 25% was trash.
That's
a first at university.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is with this track, like I heard the old Meek Mill come back when he has that for when he comes with that energy, you know.
One again.
It's like, like you know, I think it's kind of hard to like say.
Boombox on his shoulder and like a Kango hat and have the Lord Adidas tracksuit with thick.
But you know what I'm saying?
Meek saves that for his intros. You got to wait for the intro for his next album to get that shit. Special shit.
But I reckon he delivered some of that on this EP though.
He did, but when he really goes in, that is definitely intro shit. Meek's got amazing intros for his albums.
Always. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Again, it was short, but I really enjoyed it. So I could give it a strong 3 on this one.
Cool.
Last but not least.
No, we've got 2 more to do, innit?
What's the 2 more? I've got Jeezy.
The Recession 2 and also Amaarae. Angel.
Let's do Amaarae first.
Alright, cool.
What did you guys think? I've been pushing for this one.
Because you be pushing for it, can you give us a description of the artist and the general sound of the album as well, please?
Alright, so Amaarae is like an African neo-soul, let's say like electro R&B songstress, a bit of pop in there as well. She was like introduced to me by listening to this song called Rapid Fire by Cruel Santino. Have you guys heard of that artist?
No, I have not.
Okay, so Cruel Santino's like he's pretty cool. Like again, it's a very similar vein. If I send you the song, you may have listened to it like in a club somewhere, if that makes sense. Right, so going back to this album, it's called The Angel You Don't Know. My favorite song on the album was Jumping Ship by Amaarae, Kojo Radical, and Cruz Santino. I felt like it's her evolution. She's probably got a bit more fame now. You can hear a lot of different cultures' influences on the songs, and it takes you on a bit of a trippy ride. Um, and yeah, I just like this artist, and I think she's very promising. What did you guys think? Obviously, because this is your first time hearing about her.
I'll go. So I went in not expecting much, and I really enjoyed it. It was a nice vibe. I have no criticisms. I ended up playing it a few times just driving places, and it's really good. Takes you on like a little journey.
Guys, I think it's happening, guys.
It's happening.
It's happening, Ollie.
It's happening.
Are the socks coming off again, Ollie?
Nah. They're not off. But it's really good. It's a solid album. I haven't got any criticisms. I liked it.
Cool.
Thank you, Manny, actually. Thank you for putting me on this.
Nice.
I like the album. It took me on a little journey. I feel like it was a bit of a... I don't know if I'm getting this wrong here, but I kind of felt like I was on a bit of an Alice in Wonderland sort of journey on that album. Not even in terms of like the songs were actually a story, but I just kind of felt like a bit of a fantasy ride sort of thing.
Because it's trippy, isn't it? It's like different.
I did like it. And to be honest with you, the very first track it's a very short track. It's like 22 seconds, but I didn't like it. I thought to myself, what is this shit that they got me listening to? Yeah. But the second track, I really liked it a lot. And I think it's actually the best song on the album. It's called Fancy. And yeah, it's just it's an enjoyable listen. There's nothing too... It's lighthearted. It flows well. The songs, some of them have like almost miniature skits on the end where the beat changes, and it kind of, as Ollie would say, gives you a little palate cleanse before the next track starts. And it was well put together. This is the sort of thing I talk about when I say when a project's well put together, it can maybe boost your rating from being something lower to a higher one, because it just packaged well. Those little intricacies make a difference. So yeah, I really did enjoy this album. It was good.
You had this album, or
no?
Okay, cool. So yeah, just to summarize, like, what do you guys give it in terms of ratings?
For me, it's a 3, but it's a very strong 3.
It's a 3 for me as well.
It's a 4 for me. I really like this album, so I'm gonna give it a 4. But
I feel bad giving it a
3. I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. Actually, I'm gonna give it a 4.
You know, how many 4s have we given out today?
Enough.
This must be a record.
Enough.
I would say this, right? To me, it's a 3, but I would say I feel if this was a visual album, I think it would have easily got a 4. So I don't know if there are like a lot of videos to go with this album or not, but
maybe
I feel like it would lend
itself to visuals. But I think there are videos for this album.
Like, even the artwork is crazy. Right.
Yeah.
But
I think she's signed to an independent as well.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
But yeah, it's a really good project, but it's not quite a 4 for me.
I'm a side of Manny. Made me a believer.
Cheers. All right, cool. So, last but not least, yeah, Young Jeezy.
Did anyone catch the versus battle?
Huh?
Did anybody catch the versus battle between Jeezy?
You know what? I didn't watch it because of the fact that I saw that Gucci started talking about how he killed Jeezy's guy, or whatever. And apparently, all I saw was that he was chatting the most amount of crud to Jeezy, and Jeezy just didn't say anything back. And because of that, I didn't want to watch it, because I thought to myself that I'm going to just lose all respect for Jeezy.
No, I think he said something. I think he said something. He was like
you're trying to say that, he's a bigger man by not retaliating or whatever like that. But I'm like, I feel like Gucci just took the opportunity there to make it look really moist right there, and it's not right, man. I was like, it's not for me. And also the fact that Jeezy tried to go at Freddie Gibbs on his album, and that all spilled out onto Twitter before he released the album. And Freddie was talking about how Jeezy was put in a headlock by some other gangsters, or not some other gangsters, like some people from the Black Mafia family back in the day, right in front of him. And I don't know, everything that was going on around that whole versus battle just made me think to myself that I don't want to watch it because you're just looking hella moist right now. But yeah.
Do you think Jeezy's moist?
Yeah, I do. I do now, absolutely. So I see it. And then I feel like with this album, I feel like he's trying to reinvent himself into something else, but you can't spend 10, 15 years telling this story about how gang you are and then come with this whole freedom fighter.
Bro, I'm pretty sure he had an album come out this year called 2020 Pirate's Vision.
Exactly. So what's this about? What, are we whipping work or are we on Black Lives Matter? Which one is it?
Yeah, but at the same time...
Who is he selling the crack to? Are you selling it to black people or what?
No, I think he can reinvent himself at any time. And I feel like him reinventing himself now, I feel like the message was good. But let's dig into it.
Pump drugs into the hoods, but Black Lives Matter. Okay, I hear you.
Listen, anyone can change, innit?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of this album was just like adult contemporary rap. You had like adult contemporary samples.
I don't want to hear this from Jeezy.
Yeah, it's evolution of Jeezy. You know what I mean?
He got himself a little wifey, and that was it, innit? He's grown now.
Yeah, he's grown. He's changed him. I think that's not nice to give that credit. He's changed himself, so like.
I think he changed himself to feel comfortable enough to get the wifey, as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a lot of self, care, lots of growth, things like that, and he talks about it on the. He talks about it on this project as well.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. Overall, yeah. I'm comparing it to 2 Chainz and T.I. I would put this last. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, didn't have as strong singles as those other projects. So yeah. My shout out song on this was My Reputation. It was a weird track, but I kind of liked it. Agree on me. Like, it was weird because of the features that were on that track. Demi Lovato and who was the other? Now and Lil Duval. Yeah, I had Lil Duval and Demi Lovato, but yeah, that was my soundtrack. I liked it. What about you guys?
In the group earlier on, I wrote that Jeezy really thought he was doing something with this album.
Yeah.
But he's not. And I somewhat stand by that statement. And what I mean is that I think that he thought he was making some sort of black empowerment album and that everyone was falling in love with him as some sort of black leader because he made it. And no, it's not happening really.
But don't you feel like that's just a general theme of all the rappers from Atlanta?
Thing is, I feel like a lot of other rappers were doing this before. Like T.I. didn't just suddenly come out with this stuff in one album and be like, "Oh, now look at me, I'm going to be empowering black people." He's been saying that for a long time. Lil Baby was surprising when he did it, but he did it relatively early in his career when he started coming on his black empowerment thing. And a lot of others have done it too. So even 2 Chainz has been talking about like financial literacy for a little while in his albums, and he's done things. Even when he did the Pretty Girls Love Trap Music album, he bought the actual trap house, painted it pink, and he make it like a home for women to go to who like need a shelter or something like that. He's been doing things like that from before. I'm not to say that Jeezy ever did anything in like in person or for people to help them. I'm not aware of what he did, but maybe he did. But in his music, it wasn't talking like this. Even when he did make his songs that were a bit more showing a bit more growth in him as a person.
I'm pretty sure Jeezy's got a lot of foundations or provides a lot of support.
I find it very hard to believe that he hasn't, even if it's just for tax purposes. But anyway, okay, that's bad, man. I'm sure he does it out of kindness of his heart. But I felt like the first half of the album really wasn't saying much. It was just talking a whole lot of the samey thing, but I didn't really get any strong message from it. The second half of the album was a lot better, and it probably does start off on track 9, My Reputation, where you see the improvement. My favourite tracks are probably Live and Die, or probably my actual standout was Therapy for My Soul. And in Therapy for My Soul, he's talking about a lot of the old situations that he's been in, and I guess try to explain some of his actions in those situations.
Yeah.
But I just think to myself that I don't know. I think that I've always said that I need to believe what you say in your rhymes. Otherwise, I don't really want to hear it. If you go on like you're a gang guy, but you're not really gang, I don't really want to hear that shit from you. And I feel like with Jeezy, I think that he clearly overstated a lot of the things that he was doing back in the day. Or if he wasn't, I don't really understand what he's talking about in Therapy for My Soul, because if he was really about that life to that extent, some of the reasoning he's given doesn't really make sense. Like if you're that cutthroat person, if you're that I don't take shit sort of person, then you wouldn't have been so malleable in your decision making in situations that he speaks on. But it's worth a listen, especially if you are someone that's familiar with Jeezy and remembers all the stuff, because he goes back to talking about some of those old situations, what he's made songs about before. Oh, for me, I'll say.
I'll go. So I found this album very bitty. So what Matt was saying earlier about him like reimagining himself as like this new black leader sort of thing, you can kind of get that from the first track, and then if you look at the album art, it's kind of like
he really thinks it is Malcolm X or some shit.
Yeah, like it kind of reinforces that thought. So the album's a bit hit and miss. So when he's talking with substance, it's actually quite good. And some of those tracks where he does that are Live and Die, Therapy for My Soul, Oh Lord. But like there's other tracks where like track 6, I just don't get it. So it's a good album, but there's a bit of clutter in there, and it doesn't feel as polished as it should. Like if it was, I feel like there's like 5 tracks you could take out, and you could take those out, it would be a solid album. I don't think it's that bad, but at the same time, I think it's a bit confused. And
what do you think your standout track was?
My standout track was Therapy for My Soul, but I really loved Live and Die. But I think that's the one where it's like a rip-off of Tupac's Live and Die in LA.
Yeah.
So if I was to compare it to that, like it just doesn't hold a candle to it. But at the same time, I do like the track. And I actually noticed you compare yourself to Park quite a lot in this album. But yeah, it's a good album, but it's just a bit conflicted for me. And I just didn't get like a clear image on what he's trying to set out to achieve with this album. And I feel like it shouldn't have been a sequel to The Recession. It should have just been a completely different thing.
Yeah,
it's got nothing to do with the first album. Even the topics are just completely different. He's not talking about people. It's just I don't know what he's thinking.
So yeah, so if you just called it Jeezy, like self-titled Jeezy, and it was him just reimagining himself, I think I could take it. I could take it in a different light. Or if there wasn't tracks talking about his old stuff, or I don't know, it's just pick a side that you want to go with and run with that and make that the content. Don't add tracks that completely disregard the other messages you're talking about and what you set out to achieve from the first track and from the album art. Like just pick one avenue to go down, and I feel like that's where he's fallen short. So even if you wanted to add these tracks, they could have been bonus tracks or something like that. So like you can just not have a bonus edition of the album and you can still take it in its own right. So I like a lot of the tracks,
Yeah.
but I just think it's not really a concise album. It's a bit of a mess.
Afia, what was your thoughts?
I echo everything you guys have said already. You know, the consistency with the messaging was off. I liked the track, The Almighty Black Dollar. That was brilliant. Banger. I listened to that again and again. The rest of it, I agree with what Matt said. It was kind of like he thought he was doing something with this, you know, and I think in a way he did, but at the same time, it's not an album I'm going to listen to again and again. I do like The Almighty Black Dollar, though. That's a good tune. That's it, really. Everything else, I echo what you guys say.
I think you're right, and he did try and like land a message, but I think the issue for me is it's falling on deaf ears. And like as Matt mentioned, many other people have done it. Obviously, throughout their careers, or they've done it now, like at a pivotal time. But they've done it with like a big impact. And I feel like he's jumped on the bandwagon.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's how it felt to me as well.
Not to discredit, and that may not be the case, but it just doesn't get the vibe of being genuine.
However, I did get the feel that, you know, like we were saying, he's had a lot of personal growth, and I did get that in there as well. When he talks about his personal growth, I did feel the sincerity in that.
Yeah. And I guess, like, community-wise, he has been trying to do good.
Mm-hmm.
And every album, he does have a sort of positive, uplifting track somewhere sprinkled in it.
But to be honest, yeah, go on.
No, I was saying, I don't know.
Jeezy's just not an artist I'm checking for. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, like if I want this message, he's not an artist that comes to mind.
His relevancy's like ran its course. Is that what you're saying? Actually, I take that back because he did pull in almost 2 million people to his life. So yeah, Jeezy's definitely relevant.
I feel like that was Gucci.
That was because of the beef.
Yeah, I feel like it was all because of Gucci, and people wanted to see what Gucci would do, because you know how sometimes Gucci can be unpredictable.
Yeah.
Well, he was just before it started, like literally 24 hours. When was it? Just before, within like a few days before it started, he was saying some crazy out-of-pocket stuff.
Who, Gucci?
Yeah.
I didn't even follow it, man, because I didn't even watch the verses, but I saw the aftermath of just Gucci just like do this songs.
People were criticising Jeezy because they were like, how can he talk so reckless and then you'll get up on stage with him or whatever and do this, you know? So...
Yes.
I don't have an opinion on that either way. I think Jeezy's got to do what's right for him. So
good promotion, though. Good promotion for the album.
It is.
Business move.
You know, speaking on after T.I.'s low record sales, and now saying how he messed up the release because basically he could have done it after the verses battle with Jeezy, and like, you know, seeing if it had an impact on his sales. It'll be interesting to see how Jeezy's numbers do, because I'm expecting to be at least, I don't know, 60k maybe, 50k, based on the fact that he's had this big exposure from the versus battle. But yeah, we'll see.
Speaking on that number, apparently Meg's forecast to sell 60k.
I think I don't even understand how it goes fully, because I know that they sometimes take into account other songs that are also the singles on the album, right? So I know that she has Savage on there, which she had with Beyonce, that came out a while back, but it was on another project before. So I don't know how much that boosts her sales, but Is Rap, is that her song or Cardi B song?
It's Cardi B's.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cardi.
cool.
Yeah, so like if it's 60k, that's going to be a massive disappointment. Massive.
What for Meg?
Is that massive disappointment? I feel like to do 100k is a big number nowadays, isn't it? So like,
I think what you need to look at is the drop off.
75 is good now.
I think the drop off is the biggest thing.
You have to put
like how much I do the second week. If you got 60k first week and it was like, I don't know, 30 or 40 the following week, that's not bad.
But if you have like 60k and then 7k the following week, that's bad.
That is, yeah. But like I said, it's not really about sales because the album is trash anyway, so whatever.
Yeah. We'll see.
This is the problem with hype.
I wonder who's going to sell more, her or French?
Her. Hands down.
Interesting.
French is going to do.
Oh, Meg's definitely going to sell more than French.
Yeah.
That's without a doubt.
Interesting.
We're going to be hearing that body tune all the way through till next summer.
People are going to listen to Meg, even if it's just to hear what she had to say about
Yeah.
And also, like I think you said, there's just songs that girls are going to listen to. Like they want to look in the mirror and be like, oh, yada 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 yada. Like bullshit.
Matt's gonna be in the corner of the mirror approving. Like,
Oh, that's what I was doing yesterday.
Oh man, well, nah, seriously, it's Josh. I feel like people should do better, but we've done that album already.
Cool. So
what are we rating
now we've come
Jeezy?
to the
Rate it. Just rate it, bro.
2.
So Jeezy gets 2. My gosh.
I was gonna give it a 3 because it's definitely better than French and Megan.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, the second half of that one was actually better than this. Okay, so it could be a 3 for me.
I gave it a 3. Average 3, you know.
Yeah,
3.
Yeah. It's a low 3, but it's 3. Okay, cool. So it's 3 then. Cool.
All right.
What was that song, you guys?
Say that again.
Standout song.
Therapy for my show. So.
Yeah, we said our standout songs.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I guess I'll close off by giving our socials one last time. Instagram, follow us on EarSauce _ Twitter, EarSauce _ myself, Emmanuel, contact me on Twitter, Emmanuel Yates 90, Afia.
EarSauce.afia or afia.earsauce. One or the other.
Hashtag send dick pics.
Matt, who next?
My Instagram is at Mr_Matty Lee and my Twitter is at Mr. Matty Lee.
The best for last.
Who's last then?
Huh?
Who's last then? It can't be you for saving the best for last.
Me. So I actually tweet a lot of really cool stuff. So my Twitter is.
He doesn't even use Twitter.
Matt, I was and feels black. Gotcha. Anyway, it's at AC Clark _10. I really don't tweet. I just retweet. So, yeah.
All right then. Thank you.
EarSauce.